Okay, a few thoughts on the return to serve. Position yourself. You're going to position yourself based on the strengths of your opponent's serve. If you're playing a righty, for example, in the deuce court, and they can really pull the ball wide with a slice, you're going to move more to the right. The lefty would have the strength in the ad court to go to the left. High-level tennis, you're going to see the players really, for the most part, straddle the single sideline. Now I'm in a position where I can bisect the potential angle of the return. The further I go back, the more angle they have. But that's another thought in footwork, positioning myself. I don't want to be too far back. If I'm too far in, that can also be a negative factor. So you have some leeway here on where you stand, and it's based on your skill level. It's also based on the speed, spin of their serve. So now you'll see a lot of players. I think years ago, Vilas would be a great player, would be down in this position. The cameraman would then go to the server, capture the toss, and then a player like Vilas would get a high center of gravity. It's not like you're coming out of the sprinter's blocks in tennis and you're running a straight line. You have to be able to veer off. So it's like there's a giant letter V in front of you. Now, there's, for the most part, going to be two stroking patterns. Think of someone like Agassi. The toss goes up, he split steps. Now he has the option to move forward, where he can play the return to serve with a linear pattern, where it's like a volley with an added follow-through. And then the footwork is the same as the approach shot, very much the same. Split step, you're going to turn, it's crossover, then you time it where it's a step. Now, obviously, the speed of the serve, there's not time for a lot of steps. The slower the serve, the more steps there are. Many times there's no step. Say you've established your territory, you're about a racket's length past the baseline. There's time for no step. It's a rotational source of power. You're going to get a ground reaction force. You're going to turn this way. You turn like a volley, and then you use this pattern. Now, when it comes down to the recovery point, ideally what you want to be able to do is be on balance and then be in a position where you can save a step coming back this way. But the return to serve, the footwork, if it's a really slow serve, you're just running in, and again, it's multiples of steps. It's like you're running right through the return. The opposite of that would be the really fast serve where there's no step. You're just going to turn, and again, you just play with your trunk turning in this way on both sides. Ideally, if you're going to use a rotational source of power, you're going to be able to at least make the pivot and then step like a baseball player out of the bucket. And the further your feet can be apart, whether you're hitting an open stance or you're hitting a closed stance, the further your feet are apart, the better. But that's a few thoughts on footwork for the return to serve.